Hello everyone, welcome back to the Plunder Den. In this week's episode, we're going to take a look at my very first experience with GameCon Canada. So I've never been to this convention before, and I really wanted to do a Canadian convention, and you know, there really isn't a lot of large cons. Now, there is conventions in Canada, and they're more focused on certain categories like Warhammer or just tabletop games in general. But nothing, encompasses everything like, for example, Gen Con in the United States. This would be the most similar thing I think I would, connect the two together. But the GameCon Canada experience is a lot different. So it encompasses video games. There was a celebrity signing. There was Dungeons and Dragons. They have this giant stage at the front of the convention. And they have cosplay championships there, and so you got kind of an eclectic things in there. There's of course tabletop wargaming, and that's kind of why I was there. I decided to run my own booth at GameCon Canada. I thought it was a good, good reason to demo Blood and Plunder, and a good place to do it in. That convention gets to 50,000 people. And I have to say, being there now and having the experience, definitely it was really crowded on certain days. It was really busy, and it was great. There was a lot of people there, and we did demos of the Blood and Plunder game, me and my team, Julian and Robert, and we ran a whole bunch of demos of the Blood and Plunder game. We did a sea demo, and we did land demos, and just talk to the community about the game. Let them know where they could get, where they can get this game. If you're interested, Century Box in Calgary is a good place to get this game, or you can get it directly from Firelock Games themselves. They have their full assortment there, but if you want something more local, Century Box in Calgary would definitely be a place to go. I understand there's a few stores. There's a store in Toronto and a store in Vancouver that carries it as well. But definitely in the area that I'm in, Century Box is the place to go to get this game. So I guess it was kind of a different experience. Usually I'm on the end. I still managed to get around and do some of my media work. I like to do some filming so you guys can see what the con looks like. But I was probably more at the booth more than anything else. So, this is not kind of like a walkthrough of the entire convention, but I did take highlights of some things that I really wanted to talk about or take pictures of and let you guys see. So I did get kind of around all the convention. This might be a little more heavy tabletop side, but I did include other areas and aspects of the convention in this video. So maybe before we get into, I've been a montage or a collage of videos here of different things that I got into, and some of it I'll give you some descriptions on, and some of them I'll just let it run so you guys can see some of it. This convention has a huge Warhammer tournament, and I did take a lot of pictures in there so you guys can see all that. It probably, that's the best booth I've ever seen Games Workshop put together at any convention. It was absolutely amazing. And it was just, it was great to see all that and check that all out. So I took some pictures and filmed some of that so you guys can see what it looks like. But before I get down to that, I think maybe I'll just go over some of the things that I got there while I was there, some of the things I purchased, some of the things that I received. And just, I went and got the VIP badge, so just kind of see what was in that swag bag. Just stuff like that. Normally I would do that in a separate video or a part later in the video, but I figured I'd just do that right now. You guys can see all that, and then I'll kind of go through the convention itself as well. And it kind of relates to some of the things that I picked up as well. So I guess the first thing to start with is this this miniature right here. This is actually, I got it written down here because I can't remember the name here. Monbar the Exterminator. So Julian brought this for us. It's like a little pirate. Maybe I'll get it out of the box. You won't be able to see it. It's a French Buccaneer pirate. And this is more for the Blood and Plunder game. And I think it's like a fan-made miniature. Maybe I can get it on there. Yeah, right there, possibly. Anyways. And it's really cool. It looks like the Buccaneers itself. So it's a commander for that unit. And hopefully that'll make that into I think that's, eventually be official miniature, but it's really cool. It's a really cool miniature. And really appreciate Julian bringing that by. And I just have a few pictures of us holding that miniature painted up, because I want to show you Julian's painted version. Of course, Julian's a really good painter, and show you what it could look like. So here's a picture of Julian's finished model, and us holding it up at the con. It looks really fantastic. I hope mine is half as good as that one. So you can see how awesome he's painted his miniature there, and I really look forward to painting mine. So next I want to talk about the Goblin Hut. So I went over, I was really excited to see that the Goblin Hut was at GameCon Canada. I have a past experience with them, meaning I wanted to actually have a past experience with them. I remember maybe Adepticon 4 or 5 years ago, I saw their booth, and it was just one person, pretty sure it was just Mark there, and the demoing the product. And I saw some people talking about it, and said it was really, really cool. The rust effects and kind of like aging effects that they have for their products. And I got to check this out. And I got caught up in the whirlwind of Adepticon, and I was doing tournament play, and I was filming. I was trying to do probably too much. It was my first Adepticon, and I was trying to get lots into that first convention. And then I got into a situation where I never got back to that booth. But it was always something that I wanted to. And then, guilty as charged, the next Adepticon came up, and then I was in there. Their booth was set up, and it looked outstanding again. I think I filmed going by it, but not actually getting into it. So this time, I took my time, got over there, looked at the product. They did some demos for us at the booth, and really figured that this is something that I really want to get into. I have some miniatures that I want to paint, especially from Idols of Torment, the Black Magic Crafts, Jeremy's miniatures there. And I think this could be, you'll see in my swag bag, I got some more Games Workshop models, and that's not really, I don't really play Warhammer or Age of Sigmar, but I have a lot of miniatures for that. So I was thinking about, using some of this. And I have an idea for a giant swamp table. And I won't give you the details on that, but I wanted to build that on the channel. And I think some of these products would be perfect for some of the aging that I want to do in that table, and I'm really excited to try out all these different things. So I really got a cross section of things, and I have to really thank them at the team over there at the Goblin Hut. They gave a whole bunch of stuff to try out, and I plan on doing some episodes where I'm trying this product out on the channel, related to around those projects I just mentioned. So let's take a look at, they gave me these little cards, which are kind of cool. They actually have instructions on the back of them, how to use the product. And then I was kind of dabbling on their website, and it shows that there's a demonstration on some of these things. There's a QR code on the back here on how to use this product. So they have like a dirty down. So you look at it on here, they got kind of a green kind of situation there, or a red rust. So they got that kind of product going on. And then there's go into having kind of like, they have it snot and gore, or gore and snot. So I can imagine if you had a giant ogre, slimy snot coming out of there. But the blood gore really intrigued me too. Some of the stuff from Black Magic Crafts, some of the stuff looks like, the miniatures look like insects. And there's something I want to do really crazy with a table with those miniatures too. And I think these effects would come in fantastic for that specifically. So I really wanted to try this stuff out. These are some of the applicators for that product. And I got a sticker, all sorts of cool stuff from them. And this is the product themselves right here. So I got the Dirty Down. I'm going to try. We got the Dirty Down Gore. and we gotta have Snot. And we got the Dirty Down. This is a yellow, kind of a yellowy rust, so that would be interesting. And then we got a water. This one's I know this is another Dirty Down rust. I really wanted to try that one out the most, and I got a double amount of that one. This is Dirty Down water. Kind of like oh, you know what? This one's for the doing like copper and making copper look like it's aged with this. And they demonstrated this one actually when we were at the table there. And really, once you get it mixed up right, they just wipe it on, and instantly it has that effect on it. And I'm like, wow, that looks fantastic. That's something I definitely want to try out. Maybe even if I did a whole army of guys that were kind of like rusted old copper and stuff, kind of like a aged copper on all their entire armor and stuff like that. I could see me doing Space Marines like that. I'm not going to be, I don't really play the game, so it'd be more of just having fun with the miniatures and doing something different with it. Maybe make some Space Marines with some really crazy armor and stuff on it. Anyways, and then they had this other product here, dark brown, Dirty Down. It's like an aging spray. So it looks like you just spray it at a distance, and it gives an aging effect to the surface that you're painting right away when you spray it. So I'm going to have to give this a whirl. There's a tutorial video on these as well, so I'm going to make sure I study up first before I start playing around with this, and then show you guys on the channel what it looks like when it's done. But with the demos I saw them do there at the Goblin Huts booth, fantastic. A lot of fun. These are things that I can definitely add in elements in my swamp table that I want to do, the Black Magic Craft, and maybe I'll do some Games Workshop models on the channel as well, and kind of using this product to see what I can do with it. So that's one other thing. In the video, when we go down to look at all the con itself, I did take lots of pictures and did some filming at that booth, so you'll get to see some of that stuff firsthand on the video. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, and I kind of already mentioned it, is I stopped at the Black Magic Craft booth. Jeremy from Black Magic Craft was there and his team, and they were selling, I really wanted to get to, I think I mentioned this already before, the updated version of Idols of Torment. Yeah, he was selling that. I believe this is the first con he was selling to it, because I remember on his video was talking about just getting the books in time. So I wanted to make sure I stopped by his booth and picked that up. And as well, they updated some of the game cards that are in the game. So I wanted to make sure I got a new box set for that as well. So I made sure I stopped by that. And that's another thing that I already mentioned that I want to do videos on. And I already started doing some painting. I actually got them right behind me here. I actually started doing some kind of, I wanted to do kind of a light side where everything looks like it's been fire lit up, and then another side that I want to do like it's moonlit, and kind of have them meet at the middle of the table. Now this game takes place, it's not really in heaven, it's not really in hell, it's they call it There's Only the Echo, so in between worlds, and it plays for a lot of, he's got really good, in the original book, a lot of these cool terrain ideas, and I want to take my hand at, I got an idea of making some crazy terrain with that. It's going to be half lit with this color and half lit with moonlight. Anyways, it'll be another project for the channel that we're going to do. I just wanted to show you that. I actually painted, I don't know if you can see behind me, but a whole pile of the miniatures already for Idols of Torment, but I still have half of the other ones I want. And I definitely want to use this Goblin Hut stuff to try that out as well and see what else I can do. Give it some really cool effects. All right, so that's what I got there, and that's future things that are coming up. Now I kind of want to talk a little bit about the swag bag I got, the VIP swag bag. So there were some things in there that I probably won't use, or I'll just give them to somebody. But this one other thing is this is kind of a McFarlane, it's a DC toy. These are collectible superhero of Lobo. That came in the swag bag. And then I got a ton of like cards. I got Pokemon cards. I got Magic the Gathering cards. These are Disney cards. Rift Bond. I don't think I've played that game. I'm not sure about that, but essentially a stack of stuff for card games. That was also something that I did mention that they feature a lot on there is Pokemon cards. There was actually some booths that sold rare Pokemon cards. There was booths that selling Magic the Gathering, and they were playing card games there as well. There was some tables where they were playing that as well. So that's another thing that was going on. Now the other stuff I got, I got my GameCon, and now I have another reusable shopping bag. And if you're up here in Canada, you know you start accumulating them. But this one's a really sturdy one though. And then I got my GameCon Canada patch. I got my pin, which is on my amount of badges here. There's my pin. And then the large thing that I got from that box set was the Games Workshop Warhammer. It's like a starter set. So you get some Space Marines in here and some Tyrians. And it looks like you get, let's take a look around here. You can probably see in here. You actually get Citadel paints in here. There's like dice, a game table. You get all these miniatures right here that are in the box. So essentially another starter set. I think the last 3 cons I've gotten Games Workshop starter sets. I'm starting to accumulate, as I mentioned, a bunch of miniatures for that. And the other one I got at Adepticon, the Age of Sigmar one, was the, I still want to get into. It's got those rat guys that I really like. They look really cool. And anyways, that's something that I can try and add in. You know, maybe I'll even be able to, I ultimately making my swap map for Blood and Plunder, but maybe I can make elements in there for Age of Sigmar or something like that. So definitely trying to cross over, trying to do some different things, and try some different products, and try something different, some stuff on the channel. Now, I still am building some prizes for the Summer of Plunder that's going on right now, and I'm building, finishing the prize for the winner of the Great Pirate Paint-Off. I know I've been kind of sidetracked, but I'm going to get all these things all completed and make sure I ship them out to all the winners. So that's it for here. So let's go check out the video, and let's check out my experience at GameCon Canada through video. So we are at GameCon 2026, and we are setting up our booths. I got Robert and Julian over there right now. Over there, setting up the booth. Really, this is the day before the con started. And we're just kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of looking in the background there, but we are setting up right now. And setting up all the vendors are getting set up right now. So really at this point, I would say half the convention hall was still setting up, and some people hadn't even got to their booths yet to set up. But we wanted to make sure we got ours all completed. We did have a timeline of 9 p.m. that night to complete it. So here's the guys hard at work trying to organize all the minis. Yeah, I'm not quite sure but how they got all mixed up again, but they did. But we managed to sort them all out into the 2 crews. I did the Force Builder prior, and I don't know, I kind of pulled all the minis out to touch up their bases before the convention, and I kind of got them all mixed up, so we had to organize it. So I just took a brief walk around the corner. There's Jeremy's booth, Black Magic Crafts' booth, which is just 1 aisle over from ours. And you can see there's a lot of vendors that are not even there. They've completed theirs already. They got theirs done super fast. We hadn't... I think the hardest part was just kind of organizing all the pieces. But this is where it's pretty much done. We're pretty much wrapping up here. We're just kind of discussing kind of how we're going to set everything up. I just wanted to make a picture with these guys after they finish setting up the booth. It took us a while to decide which way to face the table, but definitely, it's Julian's idea to do this way. It was much better to go this way than going sideways. Would have been too hard to walk around the booth and have people demo the game. So I wanted to put some of my 3D printable, these are things that I sold at the convention. I brought some of those in there, and I brought a small amount of product. So I did have a few things to sell at the convention, but mostly the table was meant for demos. So this is after I just took one picture of everybody after we completed. I posted this up on Instagram later that night. So after we got all this completed, I headed over to the hotel because I wanted to make sure I checked in. This is the entranceway to my hotel, which is the weirdest entrance ever. This is the Delta Hotel downtown Edmonton. It's kind of like between two parquets. But I wanted to show you the room. It was a really nice room. It's a suite, so you got a living area here with a TV in it. It's a really nice hotel. And you got a secondary, the bedrooms in a separate room. So I just took a quick glance around the hotel, as I've done on every one of these trips. Take a look at the hotel. A really nice bathroom. Decent shower. I think the rest of the room makes up for the bathroom's like fair size, but the actual room itself is quite large. And this bedroom is huge. So this is my residence for 4 days, essentially, the setup day, and then the 3 days of the actual convention. But I wanted to do a quick tour of the hotel, so you guys can see what it looked like. Definitely, I had a great stay at the Delta. It was a really nice hotel. And the restaurant was definitely the highlight downstairs. So it's funny because it's kind of this hotel's attached to a mall, and when the restaurant, you have to go kind of the third floor, and it's attached to the hotel, but it's in the mall, and there's a movie theater down there, and this is me sitting at my seat that first morning prior to going to the first day of the convention. And I decided to order a big breakfast. So I'm really glad I did this so I wouldn't be hungry during the convention. I just ate really heavy in the morning, as you can see. And just so I wouldn't be hungry during the convention itself, so I wouldn't have to go. The food courts are going to be crazy. All right, so we're in the tabletop gaming area. It's us the next morning. We're just prior to us opening the doors. We did one more check. We decided to switch out to Julian. He brought his Dutch miniatures and switch out my miniatures for his. And we just went around to make sure everything was completed at our booth before we opened. So this gave me a chance to poke around the entire convention hall. Now, normally I wouldn't get a chance to do this, but this is prior to the convention opening. Everybody's pretty much set up their booths. I decided to walk around and check everything out. So the first thing that I was looking at was this, it looks kind of like a Viking supplies. Like some of the booths in here were for the cosplay, and some of the booths were, most of them in this area were for tabletop. There's card games, and there was the actual like Conquest and the Games Workshop, and then so art supplies like the Goblin's Hut, and us and Black Magic Craft. We're all related to tabletop wargaming, but there were some things in here that they were eclectic, let's just say. But it's definitely a wide range of things in this area. But I felt more of it leaned. There's some art supplies right there, leaned to the miniature side. But there was some miniature stuff in some of the other areas too, so, sometimes it was a little confusing. But here is the Floral Dragons booth. They actually had quite a large booth, all sorts of stuff here in this section. And then I decided to go walk around the Games Workshop booth. So I get around all the way to the other side, filming coming down the other way. That's the merch part of it. This big wall is surrounded around the painting area. So they had a large painting area. And I think that's where the submission of the painting competition was, right there, right across from the Warhammer booth. They actually had similar to like the Golden Demon, but it's like the GameCon Canada's version. They had a painting competition, which was really cool. I wish I had really had more chances to film more of the applicants from that, because I did see them afterwards. But this is the giant painting area in the Games Workshop booth, and they had this giant sculpted sprue, which was awesome. And this was the queue for the area to get into the painting area. And I have to say, all the cons I've been to, this is by far the nicest Games Workshop booth I've ever seen. And this is just their retail area. In the third day, later on in this video, we will go into the gaming hall, and you'll see where the tournament play is, and how much space they had in there, and all sorts of other cool displays they had in there as well. Now, I'm not sure the name of this. I know they're from Age of Sigmar, this statue. The eyes light up, but I was in here prior to it opening, but I was trying to film. They had some demo tables going on in there. They had a shop there. They had painting sessions, and they kind of had separated was that giant sprue there. Like this was a really, really nice booth. This is the outer wall, and that's the shop from the other side. And again, some more demo tables. And that's what they had at their booth. So then I went up the aisle here. This is a local game store, and they were also running some demos over here as well. And this is the Conquest area. So they had demo tables going on. They did have tournament play in the tournament hall. And the product was being sold in the local game stores that were actually in the convention. As I did mention, in this area, there was actually quite a few game stores that were selling product. So I decided to take some pictures. I've always taken pictures of the Conquest miniatures at every convention I've ever been to. They actually released some new stuff this year that's kind of more of a skirmish style. Actually similar to like Port Royal, where they have a breakdown terrain that comes in the box, and kind of like a whole kit kind of thing. And here's some of the miniatures they had set up, beautifully painted, and they were using for the demo tables. So it was more of an individual model, I guess, kind of version of the game, opposed to rank and flank, where you push the trays of the larger units. And they had that demoing there. This is a picture of it right here. And then there's also some guys over there demoing the original version of the game. So then I got out of there and decided to go up to the Goblin's Hut. They were at the end of this aisle here. So you can see there was some kind of... but these were like dice. They sell dice and stuff like that. It is related to tabletop wargaming. Some dice trays, but there's some of fashion in here, and there's some artwork as well. And there's some more games being demoed there. And here we are. We've reached their booth. Let's check it out. Look at all the cool stuff. They got the stuff from Fallout.
Get you guys in the video.
They've always had that cool statue in there. And there's the team. Their team working at the booths here. And I wanted to make sure I got some close-ups of there's just their snot and gore sets. And I'll take I got some stills here, so I know I'm walking around here, but here's some stills. You can see all the rust and stuff they put on there. That's a really cool display. I really like this display. It definitely stops you at this booth. But they were running demos all the time, showcasing all the different weathering they had and the snot and gore. So I took some pictures of gore in action here. This is the weathering I was talking about on the copper. And we got some close-up images of the armor. You can see the weathering on there, and especially around the feet here. Look how awesome that is. And some more gore, a tank. You can see all this product in action. That's their demo table, and they were demoing the gore and the rust there on that mat there they had. and showing how easy it is to install. I had some pictures with the team here putting up their gloves. So great guys, great booth. I really appreciate them giving me some product to try out on the channel. That's so awesome, and I look forward to using that. I got some really good ideas. So next up was Black Magic Craft, Jeremy's booth here. We went in there. I was on the hunt for some specific things for Idols of Torment, but I figured while I'm in there, I must do some filming. This is that diorama he was building on his channel. He got it ready for GameCon. There's a sample of all the different factions that are in the game Idols of Torment. And they were doing demos over here. They got nice, really cool demo tables, some of the terrain that he built on the channel for it. And let's go over here, and he's got some of the other stuff. There's Jeremy right there. And working hard behind the booth. And they were actually really busy too. And I was, walking back and forth between our booths. Their booth was back too. I was doing demos and checking out all the cool displays. Like, he really had some things that would make you stop and take a look at. He had some music for his game as well. He had the cassette tapes. And there's that new box set that I picked up, and there's the manual. So this is Void Burst. This is the other game that he released, and he had product for that in that large statue, which is awesome too. So that led us back to my booth and see what's going on over here. We were all ready to go. I actually got that all done prior to us actually opening the door. I get one more look at everything. I don't. There'll be lots of images of us doing demos on this video. I just wanted to show you the different days and all the different people. And I didn't get all the pictures. Robert has some of them, and Julian took some of them. And of course, I wasn't at the booth. As you can see, I was wandering sometimes, checking out things in the con. But we tried to take turns to make sure everybody got around everywhere. On that Saturday, though, it was absolutely crazy. So there's some of the signage. I just, again, want to do a shout-out for It's Time promotion in Lloyd for getting all that signage together. Looked fantastic at the convention. And here is us running demos on the first day. I would say we had a lot of people come in, see it right away, and said they would come back, and they did. Later on, a lot of people came in and did the demos. But I would say the first half an hour, 40 minutes, they just came in and wanted to check everything out. Which makes sense. Check out everything in the convention and kind of decide where you want to spend your time. So this is kind of next door how they were doing. It's busy over there, just kind of showing you the crowds. This was on the first day of the con, the Friday. And that's the little corner table where I was selling 3D terrain and some of the product I had. There's Robert. He was running the C tournament. C demos. We weren't running a tournament. Maybe in the future, but we were running demos, and he was running that side, and Julian was doing the land side. So this later that night, ate up, and then morning, breakfast again. And then the first thing I wanted to get to on the second day, on the Saturday before we opened up, was I wanted to get that Space Marine filmed in the entranceway. This is the main entrance to get into the convention. They put the Space Marine in there. And this year, it looks like they brought food carts. So they tried to expand on, the food court by adding cars. But I'm still glad I ate the big breakfast prior to going there. So this is kind of the main hallway before you actually get into the actual areas where the con is. It's just a hallway to get into the different areas. They have different halls separated, so like video games in one and tabletop gaming in one. And then they have the big stage in the other. There's Josh overseeing the large stage at the convention. I want to make sure I got down here and filmed this. I really wish I would have been able to spend more time at the large stage. But I had to keep an eye on the booth and go back and forth there and give time for the other guys to get around and check things out as well. But we did our best to try to share that time. But I did get down here for a little bit. They had this really, I imagine this store is more for cosplay. They had like knights uniforms and all sorts of weapons and armor, and they had some food vendors on this side. So on the far side here, there was some food vendors, more of looks like drinks and stuff like that, and treats and snacks. And then also on this side, they had some video games. Definitely a lot of places where you can try out video games on either side of the stage. There's a large stage all the way. I'm pulling out so you can see the size of it. They had the whole cosplay competition up here, but I wasn't able to get over here. And they were doing Dungeons and Dragons up here. They do real big things up on the stage there. Maybe one day we'll get on there on the big stage. So this is this Star Wars droid. I swear, every time I tried to film it, it wasn't moving. I didn't realize there was somebody with a remote control running it. I just thought that it would just stop every time I was there, but clearly the attendant there is right there is running it, and so it drove away. I got up with it later on, but then when I went back to the booth, it was still humming along. Lots of demos happening. And it was just solid. Well, actually, it was pretty much solid all 3 days. I just wanted to get pictures and images of the second day. Was probably the heaviest. We did the most demos. I think on that day we had the least amount of time to do things. I think most of us only were able to go for a bathroom break because it was so busy in there. But it was great. It was a lot of new connections, a lot of new players, a lot of people interested. There's people from stores, from other booths, and just new people are interested in the game. Some people seeked us out. They knew we were going to be there. So you had all sorts of different matters of different people there coming to demo the game. And they all had a great time. I don't think anybody left that booth not liking their experience playing the game. And I think it is a testament to Robert and Julian doing a good job presenting it. I think I only did about 5 or 6 demos the whole time I was there, but they did the lion's share for sure. But I was running the camera, trying to get images of the convention, because it's really something I think that we can expand on, and I really want to look at maybe doing twice the size of booths next year. So we have a gaming area and then maybe a more of a retail area. I'd like to have more product next time because a lot of people really wish we had product there that they could just buy it. And that would be something we could do to expand on it. So that was it for day number 2. So we're on the final day. This is, well, technically day 4. But if you count the setup day, but 3 days, third day of the con. We're just pretty well wrapping up and just about heading over there for the last day. We're going to be doing demos all day, one more day, so I'm looking forward to that. So I finally got into early Sunday morning into the gaming area. So I really wanted to film in there and show you the large Warhammer tournament that was going on over in this gaming area. So I really did some filming in here to show you how big the hall was. And all these banners. I did take some pictures of some of these banners. They were super cool. They had live feeds going on, tournament updates on there. The giant area is bigger than most people's booths just for you to get your information for tournament play. But they had these awesome statues at all the 4 corners of this booth. This is a tournament operations center, and I wanted to get some pictures of the cool miniatures they had right there at the booth. There's more close-up view of the, looks like they have a live feed game going on there, and then people keeping track of all the stats, I imagine, of all the tournament players. Again, they had some retailers in here, so it was kind of like I probably would have put those with the rest of the tabletop wargaming stuff, but it's for people to buy some product that were actually in the tournaments here, I imagine. But this hallway that connects into here is connected to the tabletop wargaming, so it's kind of all in the same area. And here's all the banners that are up on the wall. I mean, I only took a small section. You can see there's different ones up there that I didn't get close-ups of. But vast hall, umpteen players, just a massive tournament for Games Workshop products. Age of Sigmar, Warhammer. Really cool Space Marine here. So then over there in that corner, they had like Dungeons and Dragons being played. There was a Conquest tournament here being played. I mentioned that there's some of that going on. And then again, retail space here. Retailers are in here selling product. Taps. I'm not sure where that company, if it's a game store in Edmonton. But they had a large booth there too. And you can see they got all sorts of stuff over here too for Dungeons and Dragons. I think they were playing like as a group around those tables over there, and then there was a free area there. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to spend as much time in here as I would like, and this was a Sunday, so it's probably not as full as it was the day before, but I couldn't get away from the booths. So this is the hallway that connects that gaming area to really the rest of the convention. There is 2 ways into there, but leads us into the gaming area here. So I went and checked out that, remember that Viking one we were looking at the beginning? They had dice on the opposite side, so I wanted to film some of them because they were actually really amazing. I love all their banners and stuff. They're really, really cool. And then this is more, I would say, cosplay stuff, because there's like purses, but there's bags and satchels and stuff like that in here in this booth. So it's kind of like I had a little bit of everything. Some cosplay, some stuff for tabletop gaming. So all in one booth there. But around that theme, Viking theme. So there's more tables doing demoing. This is more board games and cards being played here. They had some large areas like that. I finally get to go around the rest of the convention. So there was one booth, I would say, leading up to the stage. This is people playing virtual reality games, where more interactive kind of booths where you're physically doing things in there. They even had that little place where you can play with drones, and they had all sorts of stuff like that in here. And this is where I was leading up to where the Ghostbusters are and stuff. This is the main stage. Mark's up on the stage announcing upcoming events. I guess props made with foam. Really didn't get a chance to talk to the person on there. I understand from Robert and Julian they got a chance to talk to them. And they make all sorts of cool props here out of foam, which is really neat. And then I finally got to the Ghostbusters. I wanted to get to the... I kind of saw the Stay Puft for far away, but I wanted to get up here and check out the Ghostbusters car. And they're all dressed up in their awesome costumes, and check out their booth over here. Every year that I've seen images of GameCon Canada, they're actually at the event. So I wanted to make sure I got there. Alberta Ghostbusters. They're really awesome. Great setup, great display. It was a lot of fun. So then I finally got to see my droid that always was running away from me. And I got to see Chopper too. Chopper came by. There's some more cosplay. Some of them stopped at our booth, so I took some pictures with them. There's they actually saw me and they're waving at me, so I guess they've been seeing that I've been wanting pictures, so they got the droids to do some fun things for me when I was filming. I finally actually got them on camera. They have the little droid interacting. They turned them around to see us. Yeah, it was hilarious. I was trying to hunt them down and get some shots of them actually working, right? But there they are. They're all working. There's another guy riding another one. They're kind of all over the con, and everywhere he went, ran into some droids. But they're giving me a really good show in front of our booth today, which is awesome. Here's some pictures of me with some of the cosplayers would like to have gotten more pictures, but here's a few. So this is our last set of pictures of us doing demos on the final day of the con on Sunday, and we just went hard all day. It started getting busy actually in the afternoon, and it was pretty sustained at that point with several demos right to the very end. We had a gentleman right till about 10-15 minutes before the convention closed doing demos. Here's some images of the different ones that were done throughout the day. And it was nice to see just a large variety of people interested in the game. Age didn't matter. We had young, old, everywhere in between. It was everybody was interested in wanting to play. It was really, really awesome to see so much interest. Got a lot of comments saying that we were the standout table of the convention, which is really awesome. It was really good to get that kind of feedback that we did a great job setting up, and people really enjoyed their time demoing. A lot of people were thinking it might just be a display and they weren't allowed to play, but when they heard they were allowed to demo in there, yeah, as you can see in these pictures, they got pretty full there, pretty excited. A lot of people were wanting to play the game. So again, next time, I definitely want to have some more product for people to purchase. It's just, they really were excited at the game and they wanted to purchase it. So this is a scene of the last match being played, last demo being run by Julian. I was just kind of zooming in on the table. This gentleman actually was in the day before, did the sea battle, and today he was our last one the following day. So it was fantastic. He came back. He wanted to try both aspects of the game and really enjoyed it. So that's it. That was a picture of the end of the con. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this journey through GameCon Canada. I'm really excited to come back and do this all again next year. All right, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching.